This is the Fiendish Dr. Phil Nichols, coming to you for another installment of From the Lab. Today we're going to spotlight my re-release of The Leprechaun. The Leprechaun was a piece that was commissioned from that haunted house back in 2000 with the Barnabas and the Dracula, and I finished the first one on Halloween Day 2000. And I remember that specifically because I had, at the time, a little dachshund puppy named Pumpkin Pie. She was so sweet and so adorable, but I'd gotten her from a breeder, and she was ill, and we didn't know it at the time, and she only lived for 6 weeks, and it broke my heart. She was a fantastic little hound, and she loved to lay at my feet whenever I would design, when I would sketch, or when I would sculpt, or when I would paint. She would just curl up and lay at my feet, and she was just adorable. So, in my mind, the Leprechaun piece is always dedicated to the memory of my little dachshund girl, Pumpkin Pie. I think it turned out pretty good for coming from a 14-year-old mold that's warped. Because it has warps, and I have to deal with the warpage and do a lot of extra dremeling and shaping of the piece. But I think it's turned out pretty spiffy, and I have, after this one, I have 4 more to make. So if you've ordered a Leprechaun and I haven't told you this is yours, I'm still working on yours, and I'll get them to you just as soon as I can, but I think you'll be very pleased with them. Now, this one doesn't have the hat, because the truth be told, nowadays you can get a much better hat, or as good a hat, let me just put it that way. You can get as good a hat off the internet. For about $60, you can get a really, really wonderful felt top hat. But some of you have ordered the latex hat because you want the piece in its entirety as I designed it to be. So I'm happy to make the hats for you, but some of you didn't, and you're going to get the other hats, and that's fine too. As I said, this one doesn't have the hat on it. So without any further ado, let me present Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun.
What's that you say? Leprechauns don't exist? Ha ha! I want me to... Have I mentioned that I want to go? Hey, Tubby, you got a light for those leprechaun pipes?